You've heard it before. I'm just not ready for a relationship. And maybe you believed him. Maybe you gave him space, time, even your hope. But what if I told you that not ready rarely has anything to do with timing and everything to do with psychology? As a relationship psychologist, I've seen this phrase used as a shield, a silent confession, and sometimes a way to keep love close without ever committing to it. Today we're going beyond the words to uncover what he's really saying when he says he's not ready. I've spent years studying love, loss, and emotional patterns, especially the silent ways people protect their hearts. And one of the most common phrases I've heard, both in my practice and in everyday relationships, is this: I'm not ready. It sounds simple, even honest, but beneath it, there's often fear, emotional wounds, conflicting desires. So if you're a woman who's ever felt confused, strung along, or quietly heartbroken after hearing those words, you're not overreacting, you're not too much, and most importantly, you're not alone. In this video, I'll reveal what's really going on in his mind through the lens of psychology and emotional truth, so you can stop second-guessing yourself and start seeing clearly. Psychological reasons. Deep dive analysis. Reason 1. Fear of vulnerability disguised as timing. When a man says he's not ready, many women assume it's just about the calendar. He's busy. He just got out of something, maybe next year. But more often than not ready is code for something deeper. He's afraid to be vulnerable. You see, emotional intimacy requires a kind of bravery many people aren't taught, especially men. In childhood, they may have been praised for being strong, silent, or self-reliant, but rarely for being emotionally open. So when love starts to feel real, it doesn't feel safe. Vulnerability, the very thing that builds a deep connection, can trigger a defense mechanism: withdrawal. Instead of saying, I'm scared of being hurt again, or I don't know how to handle these feelings, as he says, I'm not ready. And that simple phrase becomes a shield, a way to protect himself from feeling exposed, and to protect you from seeing just how unprepared he truly is to love openly. Reason 2. Emotional inconsistency equals unhealed wounds. Sometimes his words say, I'm not ready, but his actions, they whisper, I care. He calls, he flirts, he shows up just enough to keep hope alive. This emotional back and forth, what psychologists call intermittent reinforcement, isn't random. It's the pattern of someone carrying unhealed emotional wounds. Maybe he's still haunted by a betrayal. Maybe he lost himself in a past relationship. Maybe someone once made him feel that loving fully leads to pain. Whatever the cause, his heart is divided. One part wants connection, the other fears the cost. So instead of saying, I'm emotionally stuck, or I haven't done the healing I need, he says, I'm not ready. And if you're a woman who leads with love, who sees potential and believes in second chances, you may end up waiting for a version of him that even he doesn't know how to become. Reason 3. You're giving, he's receiving, and that's enough for him. Now let's talk about something that can feel uncomfortable to acknowledge. Sometimes he's not ready because he doesn't need to be. If you're giving him emotional support, attention, affection, and validation without him fully committing, it creates a comfort zone that he doesn't want to disrupt. You see, in relationships, there's something called emotional reciprocity, the mutual exchange of love, care, and effort. But in some cases, one partner gives and gives, while the other receives and keeps taking. It's not necessarily because he's manipulative, but because he's getting what he wants without the full responsibility of a committed relationship. He doesn't have to say, I'm not ready. Instead, his actions, or lack thereof, tell you that he's already enjoying the emotional intimacy, the comfort, and the connection, but without the weight of a title. And that's when you begin to feel like you're stuck in an emotional loop, giving more than you're getting, hoping that one day he'll step up. But the truth is, if he's receiving all the benefits of a relationship, there's less urgency for him to become ready. Reason 4, commitment triggers internal conflict. Now, for some men, commitment isn't just a matter of timing or emotional availability, it's a deep internal conflict. For men who struggle with attachment avoidance, the idea of committing can feel like a threat, not a promise. They've often experienced emotional pain in their past relationships, or they've seen unhealthy models of love growing up. Commitment brings up something much bigger than just being in a relationship. It's about losing their sense of autonomy. It's about fear of suffocating in the relationship, fear of losing their freedom, or even fear of failure. When he says, "I'm not ready," what he's really saying is, "I'm afraid of the person I'd have to become to make you feel secure in this relationship." He knows that being emotionally present means having to face his own vulnerabilities, things he's been avoiding for a long time. And in his mind, the safer option is to keep his distance, to remain emotionally unavailable, because the idea of fully committing feels like a loss of control. The twist, "sometimes I'm not ready," really means you deserve more than I can give. Here's the twist that many women don't see coming. Sometimes when he says, "I'm not ready," it's not because he doesn't care for you. It's because he knows that you deserve more than he can offer. In fact, this may be the most difficult truth for both of you to face. There are men who genuinely want to love you, but deep down, they recognize that they aren't emotionally equipped to give you the kind of love you need and deserve. They may feel unworthy of your kindness, your warmth, or the depth of your feelings. They might fear they'll disappoint you, fail you, or worst of all, break your heart. So instead of risking hurting you in the long run, they say, "I'm not ready." It's their way of pushing you away to protect you from their own emotional limitations. And this can be incredibly painful to hear, especially if you feel a deep connection to him. But here's the truth. This is his way of being honestly protective, even if it doesn't feel that way in the moment. Closing insight: don't wait for readiness that never comes. Here's the hard truth you need to hear. You should never have to wait for someone to be ready. If love is meant to be, it will feel effortless, not filled with excuses. You deserve someone who doesn't just say they're ready, but shows you through their actions that they are fully committed and emotionally available. Don't waste your precious time waiting for someone to finally be ready, only to find that the readiness you're hoping for is a moving target, forever out of reach. You deserve clarity, not confusion. You deserve someone who's emotionally present, not someone who keeps running from the truth. And most importantly, you deserve to be loved the way you love, fully, deeply, and without hesitation. If you've resonated with this, I want you to know you're not alone, and you're not wrong for wanting real love. Relationships can be complicated, but understanding the psychology behind these moments gives you the clarity you deserve. So if you want more insights into love, relationships, and emotional intelligence, subscribe to this channel. Let's explore the truth together. And remember, don't settle for someone who isn't ready. You deserve the real thing, the kind of love that feels natural, safe, and deeply fulfilling. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.